Welcome to English Vertex Podcast.
Improve your vocabulary, grammar, and pronunciation with our engaging lessons. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to English Vertex Podcast. I'm so happy you're here with us today.
Hey there! It's great to be back. I actually got a message from a listener this week that inspired today's whole episode.
Oh, really? What did they say?
They said, I've watched hundreds of hours of English shows, but my speaking still feels stuck. And honestly, that's such a common problem.
Exactly. Today, we're talking about English listening practice that actually improves your speaking, not just passive listening in the background.
By the end of this episode, you'll know exactly how to turn your listening time into real speaking progress, using methods that actually train your mouth and your brain together. While you're listening, think about how you usually practice listening. Comment below and tell us, do you use subtitles, podcasts, shows, or something else?
And if you're new here, welcome to English Vertex Podcast. Please like this episode and subscribe so you never miss a lesson like this one.
All right, let's stop just listening passively and start listening the smart way. Let's get into it.
Let's start with the most important idea in this whole episode, the difference between active listening and passive listening. Here's the simple structure. Passive listening means you hear English in the background without focused attention, like a show playing while you cook. Active listening means you're fully focused, noticing sounds, rhythm, and specific words.
Let me give you some concrete examples. Passive listening is having a podcast on while you clean your house. Active listening is sitting down, playing one sentence, pausing, and repeating it out loud. Another example, passively watching a movie with subtitles in your own language versus actively watching with English subtitles and pausing to notice new phrases. And a third example, half listening to music lyrics versus intentionally listening to a short interview clip and writing down what you hear.
Here's a personal example. I used to think just having English YouTube videos playing all day would improve my speaking. My listening comprehension improved a little, but my actual speaking barely changed until I switched to shorter, focused sessions.
That's such an important point. Quick question for you, Emily. Which type of listening do you think helps speaking more? 10 hours of passive background listening or 20 minutes of focused active listening?
Definitely the 20 minutes of active listening, because your brain is actually processing and reproducing the sounds, not just absorbing them in the background.
Exactly right. Now, for our listeners, can you think of one listening habit you currently do that's more passive than active?
That's such a good reflection question. Now, let's talk about what doesn't work as well. Simply listening without ever speaking back rarely improves pronunciation or fluency because your mouth muscles never actually practice the sounds you're hearing.
Right. Listening alone builds your understanding, but speaking requires physical practice too, actually moving your mouth and tongue in the correct patterns.
Can you all try this right now? Pause for a second after this sentence and say out loud, I understand more than I can say. Then notice how that feels compared to just reading it silently. So to summarize this section, passive listening builds background familiarity, but active listening, especially combined with speaking, is what actually transforms your fluency over time. Now let's build on that with one of the most powerful listening techniques out there, shadowing. Shadowing means listening to a short piece of audio and repeating it immediately afterward, matching the speaker's rhythm, pronunciation, and intonation as closely as possible. Here's a real-life situation. Imagine you're listening to a short news clip. Instead of just listening once and moving on, you play one sentence, pause, and immediately say that exact sentence out loud, trying to copy the speaker's tone. Let's demonstrate this with a quick dialogue. Emily, imagine you just heard someone say, I can't believe how fast this year went by. I can't believe how fast this year went by. See, I tried to match the rhythm and stress, not just the words themselves.
perfect example. Now let's compare formal and informal usage of this technique. For formal practice, you might shadow news broadcasts or interviews. For informal practice, you might shadow casual podcast conversations or dialogue from shows.
Let's do a quick practice activity together. I'll say a sentence with natural rhythm, and you repeat it immediately after me. I really didn't expect that.
I really didn't expect that. That actually felt harder than I expected, especially matching your rhythm exactly.
That's completely normal. It takes practice. Here are 3 tips for effective shadowing. First, choose audio slightly below your comfort level at first, not something too fast or advanced. Second, start with very short clips, just 1 sentence at a time. Third, don't worry about perfect accuracy at first. Focus on rhythm and flow over exact pronunciation.
Those tips are so important, especially starting small. Trying to shadow entire long conversations immediately usually leads to frustration rather than progress.
I'd love for you to try shadowing just 1 sentence from this episode right now. Pick any sentence we've said, replay it in your mind, and say it out loud with the same rhythm.
And please write in the comments how that felt. Was it easier or harder than you expected?
To review this section, shadowing means listening and immediately repeating with matching rhythm and tone. And it's one of the fastest ways to connect your listening skills directly to your speaking skills. Now let's move to a third essential piece, actually building a listening routine you can stick with in real daily life. This is where a lot of learners struggle, not because they don't know techniques, but because they never turn them into a consistent habit. Let's talk about practical, everyday scenarios. You could dedicate just 10 minutes every morning to active listening and shadowing before checking your phone for anything else.
Here's a detailed example. Choose 1 short podcast clip or video, maybe 2 to 3 minutes long. Listen once for general understanding. Listen again and pause on unfamiliar phrases. Then shadow 2 or 3 sentences you found interesting or useful. A quick tip for naturalness here, choose content about topics you genuinely enjoy, because you'll listen more attentively and remember phrases better when you actually care about the subject. Tone and delivery guidance matters here too. Try to notice not just what people say, but how they say it, where their voice rises, where it falls, and where they pause for emphasis. Let's look at a real-life practice situation. Imagine you're listening to a casual conversation between 2 friends discussing weekend plans.
You'd notice things like rising intonation on questions. Are you free this weekend? And falling intonation on statements. I'm probably just staying home.
Exactly. And copying those natural patterns, not just the words, makes your speaking sound so much more fluent and human.
Let's do an interactive mini practice. I'll say 2 versions of a sentence, and Emily will tell me which one sounds more natural.
Go ahead.
Version 1, flat and monotone. I am going to the store. Version 2, with natural rising and falling rhythm. I'm going to the store.
Version 2 definitely sounds more natural, mainly because of the contraction and the natural rhythm in the delivery.
Exactly right. I really encourage everyone listening to try repeating both versions out loud yourselves right now and notice the difference in how they feel.
Speaking these patterns out loud, even quietly, trains your mouth muscles in a way that silent listening simply can't.
So structurally, remember, build a short daily routine, choose content you genuinely enjoy, and pay close attention to rhythm and intonation, not just individual words.
Okay, time to be honest with everyone. We've both made mistakes with our own listening practice too, even as English teachers.
Oh, definitely. For years, I only used shows with subtitles in my native language, thinking it still counted as listening practice. It really didn't help my speaking much at all.
That's such a common mistake. Let's go through a few more. Mistake number 1, relying only on translated subtitles instead of English subtitles or no subtitles at all. which means you're reading your own language, not truly processing English sounds.
Mistake number 2, choosing content that's far too difficult, understanding almost nothing, which leads to frustration and giving up rather than steady progress.
Why does this happen? Learners often think harder content equals faster progress, but your brain actually learns best from content that's just slightly challenging, not overwhelming.
Mistake number 3, listening passively for hours without ever speaking back or shadowing, which builds comprehension but leaves speaking skills mostly untouched.
And mistake number 4, translating everything in your head word by word while listening, instead of trying to understand the overall meaning naturally and directly in English.
Let's do a quick correction game. I'll describe a habit, and Emily will suggest a better approach.
Ready when you are.
I watch shows with subtitles in my own language every day.
Better approach. Switch to English subtitles, or try short clips without any subtitles at all.
I listen to advanced news broadcasts, but I understand almost nothing.
Better approach. Choose slightly easier content, maybe beginner or intermediate podcasts, so you actually absorb more.
I listen for hours, but never repeat anything out loud.
Better approach. Add short shadowing sessions, even just 5 minutes, to actually connect listening with speaking. Great corrections! I promise these small habit shifts really do make a huge difference over time. Please remember, if your listening practice hasn't been working perfectly, it doesn't mean you're doing something wrong as a person. It just means the method needs a small adjustment.
Exactly. And honestly, most learners just need better strategy, not more hours. Quality really does matter more than quantity here.
Now let's move into our favorite part. Choose the correct approach. I'll give you 2 options, and you decide which one is more effective for improving speaking. Situation 1. A. Watch a 2-hour movie once with subtitles in your own language. B. Watch a 5-minute clip twice, once for understanding, once for shadowing. B. Definitely more effective for actually improving speaking. Situation 2. A. Listen passively while doing chores every day. B. Listen actively for 20 minutes with full focus. B. Focused active listening, even in shorter sessions. Situation 3. A. Choose content way above your level to challenge yourself. B. Choose content slightly above your comfort level. B. Choose content slightly above your comfort level. B. Slightly challenging content helps you actually absorb new language without frustration.
Situation 4. A. Translate every word into your language while listening. B. Try to understand the overall meaning directly in English. B. Direct understanding builds much faster, more natural fluency. Situation 5. A. Only listen. Never repeat anything out loud. B. Shadow a few sentences after listening. B. Combining listening with speaking is what truly transforms fluency.
Excellent answers across the board. Now here's your challenge. Pick one short piece of audio today, maybe a podcast clip or a video, and practice shadowing at least 3 sentences from it. Try saying them out loud right now if you have a sentence from today's episode in mind. Practicing immediately really helps the technique stick in your memory.
You can also experiment with different tones. Try shadowing an excited sentence, then a calm one, and notice how your voice needs to change for each. Remember, real conversation and natural rhythm always matter more than perfect pronunciation. Progress comes from consistent practice, not immediate perfection.
Wow, I feel so motivated to restart my own listening routine after this episode, honestly. Same here. Let's quickly recap the 3 main ideas we covered today. First, active listening, especially with shadowing, works far better than passive background listening. Second, shadowing itself, matching rhythm and intonation, directly connects listening skills to speaking skills. Third, building a short, consistent daily routine with content you enjoy makes real, lasting progress possible. If you can apply even one of these ideas this week, your speaking is going to start feeling more natural and confident, little by little.
And remember, you don't need hours and hours every day. Even 10 to 20 focused minutes can create real change over time.
Here's a question for you before we go. What's one piece of audio content you're excited to try shadowing this week? Tell us in the comments. We love hearing your plans.
And if this episode helped you today, please like it, share it with a friend who's learning English, and subscribe to English Vertex Podcast so you never miss an episode.
We put so much thought into making these strategies practical and doable for real busy lives, and your support means so much to us. Keep listening actively, keep shadowing, and keep speaking out loud, even when it feels a little uncomfortable at first. Thank you so much for spending this time with us today. See you next time.